We both had to learn how to breathe underwater with the gear. We had never done scuba before, because they were going to double her. Gene Hackman left behind a huge fortune, which included cash, expensive homes, and priceless art. His estimated $80 million fortune is now at the center of a deep family conflict that could lead to a legal battle, but instead of a simple will, he is said to have made a drastic decision that completely leaves out his wife, who is the rightful heir to take everything. Hackman made the shocking decision to leave his wife out of his will. Join us as we look into Hackman's legacy and estate. Gene Hackman wasn't just a Hollywood legend, he was also a man who planned for the future. Starting in the 1970s, he knew that fame could be short-lived, so he made smart financial moves to secure long-term wealth. His estate includes several luxury homes, a rare and valuable art collection, and a carefully managed portfolio, and had a clear vision for what he wanted to do after leaving Hollywood. He once said, "I never wanted to be just an actor. I wanted to create something that would last beyond the screen." This drive helped him build a strong financial foundation that would last long after his career ended. However, as with many famous estates, questions have been raised about who will get his money. His daughters Elizabeth and Leslie Hackman or his son Christopher Allen may seem like the most likely candidates. The reality is much more complicated than that. The distribution of his estate isn't just based on a will. There may be hidden assets, contested clauses, and even outside forces hoping to claim a piece of his huge fortune. What seems like a simple inheritance could quickly turn into a complicated legal battle. One of Hackman's most prized properties was his huge 12-acre estate in Santa Fe, New Mexico. There, he and his wife Betsy Arakawa lived in peace and away from the spotlight in his later years. Even though he left Hollywood in 2004, Hackman's influence never went away. He still gets royalties from classic movies like Superman, 1978, The French Connection, and The Quick and the Dead. But what many people don't know is that Hackman also became a successful writer after he stopped acting. His novels and memoirs were well received, adding another dimension to his legacy. With ongoing film royalties, valuable artwork, and best-selling books, his estate is very complicated to manage. It's not just about money. It's Elizabeth and Leslie may have been named as heirs to their father's wealth, but inheritance laws aren't always clear-cut. With so many assets spread across different industries, their claim to their father's wealth may not be as simple as it seems. What's even stranger is the mystery surrounding Hackman's death. Under inheritance law, if someone dies in a strange way, their entire estate can be frozen until an investigation is completed. Once the official investigation is over, Elizabeth and Leslie might not get their inheritance right away, if they get it at all. The real battle isn't just about money, it's about power. Who will oversee the estate, manage the properties, collect the royalties, and protect the legacy Hackman built? His influence stretched across many fields, including acting, writing, investing, and art. As the investigation continues, Hackman's family is left in the dark, not knowing what the future holds. Hackman was known for being very well planned, as people close to him have said. Hackman carefully wrote a will outlining how his assets should be distributed, but only his lawyer knows all the details. This adds to the mystery. Some people think there could be hidden issues surrounding who owns his Santa Fe mansion if Betsy Arakawa left a will. The estate might have gone to her relatives instead of just Christopher Allen, Elizabeth, and Leslie. It would be even scarier if Hackman had taken out loans against the property or signed undisclosed transfer agreements, as this could lead to ownership disputes. Some rumors even say he had secret business partners involved in his real estate investments, which would make the legal situation even less clear. Despite Hackman's careful planning, the fate of his estate is still unknown. Who will ultimately control Hackman's legacy? Will Elizabeth Can, Christopher Allen, Elizabeth, and Leslie claim what is rightfully theirs? Or will unexpected problems, legal loopholes, or hidden players show up? Let's take a closer look at Hackman's inheritance battle. The huge wealth that Hackman built up over his lifetime is now at the center of what could become a fierce legal battle. His children, Christopher Allen, Elizabeth, and Leslie, were named as heirs. But the fight over his fortune may not just be between family members. Other people, possibly with their own claims or hidden motives, could get involved. As the investigation goes on and more information about Hackman's life comes to light, it makes things even more complicated. The future of his estate is now in doubt, and there are legal and financial questions that need to be answered. As more financial details come to light, it becomes clear that this inheritance saga is far from over. The final outcome may not only decide who gets the money, but it could also change the balance of power and influence in Hackman's empire. a grand mansion, which his will says should go to the property belongs to his daughters, but no one can claim ownership, sell it, or even go inside because it's been frozen in legal limbo due to ongoing disputes and possible hidden agreements that have yet to come to light. Hackman's children are his rightful heirs, but the complicated will, questions about his wealth, and possible outside claims have thrown the whole inheritance into chaos. What was once Hackman's sanctuary, a place of peace and creativity, has now become the center of there is still no clear winner in the battle for control of the mansion, and the fight over Hackman's legacy could go on for years with no guarantee of a resolution. To add to the mystery, a strange discovery inside the house has raised even more questions. A large exotic bird, one of Hackman's favorite pets, was found perched by the window, its cage untouched. The bird was normally loud and active, but it was eerily still, as if it knew something was wrong. There were no signs of a break-in or a struggle. There was an eerie quietness around the house that investigators couldn't ignore. The mansion used to be a lively home full of family memories and the presence of a Hollywood legend. Now it stands frozen in time, a silent witness to a story that hasn't been fully told. Hackman's daughters are left to deal with the legal chaos of his vast fortune and to solve a deeper mystery. Gene Hackman spent his later years immersed in art and writing and finding peace in his secluded mansion. It was a retreat from the Hollywood lifestyle, a place for him to live quietly and think about his many years of success. The mansion he carefully designed and filled with his own art was a sanctuary until a shocking discovery broke its peace. 3 dogs were found dead in a closet with no signs of a struggle or forced entry and no clear cause of death. The eerie silence of the home and the strange circumstances of the dogs' deaths have led to a lot of speculation. Some think it was an accident, while others think it was intentional. The mansion, which used to be a place of creativity and solitude, is now at the center of a dark mystery that hangs over Hackman's last days. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, and authorities haven't figured out what happened. The mansion seems to be stuck in time, filled with Hackman's paintings and personal touches, but it is now a locked crime scene that is always being watched by investigators who are going through every detail of his life in the months leading up to his death. Hackman's children are in a tough spot because until the investigation is over, nothing in the estate can be moved, sold, or changed. As legal heirs, they should have control over the property, but the ongoing investigation has put everything on hold. The mansion's upkeep, rising taxes, and legal uncertainty are all costing them a lot of money, so they have to make tough decisions: wait for the investigation to end, fight for legal control, or try to negotiate limited access to the estate. Hackman's home, the Santa Fe mansion, has been a silent witness to the mystery of his last days. It used to be full of his artistic spirit, but now holds secrets that no one has been able to uncover. As time goes on, the truth remains just out of reach, buried beneath layers of speculation, legal battles, and the unsettling feeling that this story is far from over. Could something more sinister have happened? Let's look into the mystery of Hackman's home, the Santa Fe mansion. Hackman's home, which was once a peaceful place where he could relax after his Hollywood career, now has an eerie air of mystery about it. What was once a private sanctuary has become something much more complicated, a symbol of an unsolved case and a lingering piece of Hackman's legacy wrapped in intrigue. Hackman's entire estate has an air of mystery about it. His will, which was once thought to be simple, may have surprises in store. Because Hackman was known for carefully planning his finances, so many people aren't sure what the real details of his estate are much more complicated than they seem. As the investigation drags on, people around the world wait for the last pieces of the puzzle to come together. The ongoing police investigation has cast a long, dark shadow over the estate, making it more than just a home. No matter how much work goes into renovations or how personal the connection is, the mystery surrounding the mansion won't go away. Even when the investigation is over and Hackman's daughters, Elizabeth and Leslie, are legally allowed to inherit the property, they will have to make tough choices. Owning the mansion may be emotionally and financially taxing, making them wonder if they want to keep a house that is so connected to unanswered questions about their father's last days. If the cloud of uncertainty continues to hang over the property, the mansion could become not only a financial strain, but also a psychological one. The sisters might decide that selling it is best, despite its sentimental value, but selling a property tied to a high-profile investigation comes with its own problems. The mansion's legacy isn't just about its beauty. It now holds a story that may never be fully told. But the mansion is only one part of the bigger mystery. Hackman's estate, his wealth, his belongings, and most importantly his last wishes are still a mystery. From the strange circumstances surrounding the deaths of his pets to the questions about how he died, the mansion is at the center of a drama that could go on for years, a reminder of both his and his family's lives. Additionally, Hackman's will is still secret, and his lawyer's refusal to provide any information has only added to the rumors. Hackman was known for meticulous planning, and many people think his estate might not be as simple as it seems. Some people wonder if his children are really the only heirs, or if an unexpected name will come up and completely change the inheritance. As the legal battles continue, more questions arise. Did Hackman intend for his daughters to receive everything, or is there another twist waiting to be found? Was there someone else, like a close friend, a long-lost relative, or even a mysterious person who had a stake in his wealth? The public is captivated, eagerly waiting for the next revelation. To make matters more complicated, if Hackman had Alzheimer's or another form of dementia in his later years, it could call into question any changes he may have made to his will if his mental health was compromised. If someone changes their will, the courts usually want proof that they fully understood what they were doing. This means that Hackman's daughters and anyone else who thinks they were wrongly left out, or that Hackman's wishes were manipulated, could file a legal challenge. As lawyers dig deeper into the details of Hackman's estate, the question of whether he really made these decisions on his own free will or if he was influenced by someone in his last years grows. Hackman's will, which he wrote in 1995, said that if his wife died before him, he would inherit her money. But if they both died within 90 days of each other, all of Arawa's assets would go to charity. Since both have died, it's not clear what will happen to their estate. Hackman's son Christopher has already hired a well-known trust and estate lawyer in California, which suggests that a court case is coming up, even though Hackman's children have died. His closest living relatives were left out of his will, which means they might have the right to claim the fortune. If a member of Betsy Arakiwa's family, Hackman's wife, was named in the will, it could make things even more complicated. Some people think Betsy may have had a bigger impact on Hackman's final decisions than was first thought. But there's still the mystery of the third person. If this person was given a share of his fortune, it raises serious questions about trust and whether Hackman's family was honest. Hackman's mental state in his later years makes this complicated web of theories even more confusing. What seemed like a simple inheritance for Hackman's children is now turning into a much more complicated situation. Hidden motives, possible manipulation, and an unknown beneficiary cast a shadow over the whole case, adding to the intrigue. Hackman's lawyer has stayed silent, and the investigation is still ongoing. With so many unknowns, the final outcome is still unknown. Hackman's estate isn't just about money, it's also about power and control. If the will was changed in shady ways, Hackman's family will have to fight to prove their rightful claim. If Hackman was sick when the changes were made, they could be stuck in a long legal battle that lasts for years. In the meantime, the costs of maintaining Hackman's Santa Fe mansion and managing his estate keep going up, making the situation even worse. Of Hackman's fortune, his legacy, and his last wishes will likely be decided in court. Just when it looked like the legal battle over Gene Hackman's fortune couldn't get any more chaotic, a mysterious woman comes forward and says she had a relationship with Hackman in his last years and that he promised her a share of his huge estate. There's no solid evidence to support her claim, but her sudden revelation has thrown everything into chaos for Hackman's family. Hackman's children are facing an even bigger problem as more alleged heirs and unknown figures come forward in the legal battle over his $80 million estate. What should have been a simple inheritance has turned into a legal nightmare as the children dig deeper and find more questions. The fight over his estate isn't just about money, it's also about finding the truth, with claims of hidden relationships and secret financial agreements that are also being discussed. There have been rumors that Hackman's will may have been tampered with. His family's legal team is working around the clock to sort through the mess, but with each new piece of information, the situation gets more complicated. Some people are now wondering if Hackman's reputation for being private worked against him. Adding to the drama is Hackman's deep commitment to charity throughout his life. He helped many causes, such as veterans groups and the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. His family may not have been the only ones who were supposed to benefit from his estate. However, without clear documentation, these charitable groups are now in a legal standoff with Hackman's heirs, each side believing they deserve a share of his wealth. As rumors about his last wishes continue to spread, the stakes keep rising without definitive proof. Charities could end up fighting for a share of the fortune that was never meant for them in the first place. The Hackman family is dealing with the emotional toll of losing their father, while also navigating a legal maze that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. With so many competing interests, the battle over Hackman's estate has turned into a real-life Hollywood drama, full of unexpected turns, questionable motives, and legal entanglements that could last for years. Some have compared it to similar inheritance disputes involving celebrities like Marlon Brando, Robin Williams, and Prince, where huge fortunes were at stake. For Elizabeth and Leslie, the fight to protect their father's legacy is just getting started. With assets frozen and the will being closely looked over, they have to defend their rightful inheritance while fending off claimants from all sides. If the legal process drags on too long, the fortune their father left behind could shrink under the weight of legal fees, taxes, and estate maintenance costs. At the center of it all is Hackman's mansion, which used to be a peaceful retreat, but is now a symbol of the ongoing Hackman's home. It could now become a financial burden as the legal proceedings continue. Every day that goes by without a resolution only adds to the mystery surrounding Hackman's final wishes. What makes this case so interesting is that it's not just about money, it's about H-Man's legacy. The one thing that can't be denied is that Hackman, a man who sought solitude in his later years, has now become the center of a very public, high-stakes battle in Hollywood, where fame and money can often lead to endless problems. This case is a great example of how even the most private people can't avoid the chaos that comes with having a lot of money. For now, Hackman's estate is still unclear. The investigation is still going on, the legal battle is still going on, and his daughters may be in for a fight that could last for years. What do you think about Gene Hackman's shocking decision to keep his wife out of his will? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.